Hello everyone. So today I have created a video for you that will show you a little more about the user experience and how to get connected to a Zoom webinar. You should have all received a link by now. So the first thing you're going to do is paste that link into your browser. For some of you, this is going to open a window for registration. For other folks, you're just going to get connected to the webinar, so you can ignore this first little part. Okay, so once you reach the webinar registration approval page, all you need to do is click on the link here. If your webinar is not happening immediately, which in some cases we do ask people to pre-register, then you would simply want to save this message so that you have access to this link at a later time. So we'll click on it. And this is the screen that you'll see. Basically, this means that we are getting ready to launch the webinar, but we're allowing folks to gather, and at the time the webinar should start, you'll be able to enter the room at that time. Until then, you'll just want to wait until the webinar opens up. If you'd like, you can use the test your speaker just to make sure that you're getting audio. We'll click that so that you know what that sounds like. So if I talk, you can see here that my microphone is working, and I can hit test speaker, and you can adjust your volume if you need to. So we're going to close that, and now we're just going to wait for the webinar to open. All right, so now we are in the webinar. And when you first enter the webinar, what happens is you don't have the ability to interact with the person that's on the screen. You can raise your hand if you have a question. You can type it here in the chat box, or you can click this Q&A to enter a question here. The person on the other end, which will be myself or Teepa, what we need to do is actually make you a participant so that you can communicate with your voice and your video. So that's going to happen in just a moment. You'll see what that's like once you become a panelist so that you can interact with each other. Hey there. So, welcome to the webinar. This is an area that I wanted to show you so that you get the full picture of what's happening in the webinar and where all of your controls are. The first thing I'd like to show you is down in the bottom left hand of your screen, you have a microphone button, and you'll see that mine's turned on now, but if I turn it off, it'll make a little red slash through it and it'll look like this. Then when I start talking, you're not going to be able to hear what I say. We generally ask people to leave their microphones muted during a webinar so that we're not picking up background noise from different people, dogs barking, phones ringing, kids playing, things of that nature. But there will be moments during the webinar where people will ask for participation, and at that time, feel free to unmute yourself and share out with the group. The next thing is that we do record all of these webinars so that we can use them in the future if we need to, or if your particular organization wants a copy of it. And people are not always comfortable being on camera. So if you want to turn your camera off, you just want to click this button right here. And what that does is it will pull up a black screen like what you're seeing with your name on it or whatever name that you've imported. If you're someone who has used Zoom before, you may have a photograph there in some cases, but most of the time you're just going to see the name. Then you've got a couple of other buttons down here. With these buttons, you can click on the chat button and you're able to type messages in here. And those will go to everyone that's in the group, or you can click on this list and just choose one person to send a private message. So if you're having some technical difficulties, you can always send a private message to me during the session, and I can try to assist you with that. Or it may be that you want to send a note to someone else in the group. We do ask that you don't send text messages or chat messages directly to Teepa, as it's really challenging sometimes for her to share her screen, deliver the content that she is sharing that day, and read those chat messages. But I monitor those and can share those out with her. The same is true if you're not comfortable speaking in public, but you have a question or a comment, put it in the chat and I'll share that out with the group. The other really important thing for you to understand about Zoom is that you're in control of what you see. So you'll notice up here at the top, I've got a button that says Gallery View. And if I click on this, it will show everyone that's in the webinar. Now right now it's just myself and fake Teepa Snow, who is Bonnie. She's responsible for our certified community over there. Bonnie, you should pop on and say hi to everybody.
Hello everyone.
Thanks for being here today to help me make this video. If you want to switch back to the speaker view so that you're just seeing Teepa, then you would click that button again. So that gives you a couple of different options for visuals. There will be times in the webinar where Teepa shares her screen, and when that happens, what you'll see is Teepa's PowerPoint presentation, and then beside it you'll see a small video that will show Teepa talking, or it may show a group of folks who are on the webinar. So feel free to play around with those. You can't really do anything wrong. It won't mess up the webinar. We just thought we would make a video to show you how it works and give you a better idea of what to expect when you sign on for one of our webinars. So thanks for watching today, and we'll see you on a webinar very soon.